we all understand the risk of being in the market. Is there a risk of not being in the market? So we said, let us look at history and data. The only pattern we have seen in these updates is that last year, when the markets were going up in India and internationally, we all had this fear of being left out. Now, when the markets have gone down, a whole bunch of us want to get out of equities and head for the exits. But was the risk higher then, or is the risk higher now? More fundamentally, we all understand the risk of being in the market. Is there a risk of not being in the market? So we said, let us look at history and data. So we all know this number that in the Indian market over a long period, you have got a return of 15% plus on equities, which is from the time the Sensex started, that easily calculated. So if you invested 100 rupees in 1979 when the Sensex started, today you would have 44,000 rupees. But what if you missed out in these 40 years? Just 10-20 good days. Shouldn't matter much, right? So let's see. Like if you missed out on the 10 best days of the Sensex in 40 years, that 44,000 rupees would come down to 15,000 rupees, 2/3 of your gains gone. If you missed out on 30 good days, which is less than 1 day a year on the average, your 44,000 comes to less than 4,000. So you've given up 90% of the return. And this is not a quirk of the Indian market. If you look at the US, the S&P 500, over 100 years, if you miss out just 25 good days, your returns come down by 90%. You miss out on 100 good days, that's like 1 day a year, you are down to negative returns. So there is a risk in being out of the market, which is that you miss out on these big up move days, which come rather unpredictably. The only pattern we have seen in these up days is that usually they do not come during a bull phase. They come when the market has corrected, during a crisis, during a negative phase essentially. So now, given where we are, there is a high probability that there would be a big up move. We don't know whether that will be next week, next month, next quarter, but there is significant risk in being out of the market at the current juncture, because once you miss out on this big up move day, you cannot make it up. So please look at getting back into the markets, whether in India or globally, of course not from a 6-month perspective, but a long-term equity perspective. Hope that helped.